How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the Crypto Unveiled YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be covering the one and only Kaspa, or KAS for short. I guess in today's video, we're going to be looking at the price of Kaspa. We're looking at the few of the different charts and giving a little bit of a quick summary about what actually is Kaspa all about. I'm sure a lot of people already know. And then finally, give my personal price prediction for the future of what's going to happen with Kaspa. You see the current price of Kaspa is currently sitting at just over 10 cents per coin, with the market cap actually at $2.81 billion. So it is slightly higher. You know, it is a coin that I like to cover on my channel quite a lot, is Kaspa. However, it doesn't normally, you know, I guess this coin doesn't really suit the normal coins that we talk about on this channel, the usual criteria, which is, you know, I like to talk about smaller market cap coins, micro cap coins. But however, with Kaspa, I do believe that this is a coin which should definitely be talked about on my channel, just because of the potential I believe Kaspa has in the future, as well as how well Kaspa has done already. So yeah, $2.81 billion in the market cap, actually up 6.2% on the day, which is really, really nice to see. You see 24-hour volume is actually up almost 44.5%, which is absolutely crazy. You can see it's sitting at $78.5 million in 24-hour volume, which is absolutely crazy. So your total supply of Kaspa is 26.5 billion. I guess I should say actually the max supply of Kaspa, sorry, is 28.7 billion, with the current circulating supply sitting at 26.5 billion in Kaspa. So again, a really nice ratio of circulating supply compared to the max supply. Always nice to see, you know, not too low on the circulating supply, but also, you know, it's not completely capped. So there's still going to be released a few more coins into the market, another couple billion yet. But it's not going to dilute your position too much if you were to invest into Kaspa today. Just to go ahead and check out the chart for Kaspa, you can see over the last month, Kaspa has been going absolutely crazy, which is so nice to see. Over the last few weeks, I've been covering many different coins, and it seems like basically every single altcoin which I've been covering on my channel has actually been up, which is very, very great to see. Of course, I only really like to discuss coins which I believe are going to do well in the future on my channel, so that might be why, you know, I don't really talk about coins which, you know, don't really have any potential. So I guess that's another reason why a lot of these coins are doing so well, because other people like myself also are bullish about the coins and see a great future for them ahead. But yeah, over the last month, 41% up, which is absolutely crazy. Over the last 7 days, up 7% again, which is not too bad. You can see that over the last week or so, it has had a little bit more of a run up. It did drop in price again, but then, you know, you can see here it's actually rebounding back up again over the last 7 days, which again, really nice to see. And again, yeah, over the last day alone, actually up 6%, which again, super, super nice to see, especially for a coin that has I would say quite a substantial market cap. $2.8 billion is definitely not a micro cap coin. For it to see a 6% boost in the market cap over just a single day, always very, very nice to see. If we switch it to a little bit of a bigger perspective of Kaspa, you can see over the last year, Kaspa hasn't done that well over the last year. You know, down over 44% over the last year, which is always, you know, I guess, well, I say always, it's not the nicest thing to see when you see a coin which you invest in go negative, of course. But there's two ways to look at it. You can be negative about it and say, you know, I've lost a lot of money if you lost quite a lot of money if you invested back here. Or you can say, you know, I lost a bit of money, but how about I invest more money into the coin and basically pick up the coin at a discount. That is the two ways to look at it. I guess you could say, you know, the optimistic investor compared to the, you know, the not so optimistic and wants to get out of it short term, whereas a long-term investor usually likes to pick up more coins in the time where the coin does actually go negative. But if we look at the complete picture, you will see that Kaspa is still up a huge, huge amount. I mean, yeah, if you look at the biggest picture, up almost 57,000% at all time. You can see it actually released in, what's this, around middle of 2022. So around 3 years it's been released now. And if you were in Kaspa from the start, you would be up a hell of a lot of money. And of course, like I said, I'm still very bullish about Kaspa, and I do believe in the future it is going to go back up. How much exactly? That will be in the price prediction at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's now go ahead and take a look what actually is Kaspa all about. So I'm on the official website, kaspa.org, if you want to come check it out for yourself and have a look and have a browse, because it has many different, you know, it talks about many good things about Kaspa. It talks a little bit more in depth about Kaspa. Like I said, I'm just going to give a quick summary about Kaspa because I've talked about Kaspa a lot on this channel. I believe a lot of people already know what Kaspa is all about. So Kaspa is the fastest open source, decentralized, and fully scalable layer 1 in the world. So this sums up Kaspa very, very nicely. It is basically it's basically what a cryptocurrency was originally designed to do, and Kaspa is basically, that's the reason they released, is to be basically the best, I guess you could say, to be used as a currency, the best layer 1 in the world. That is the reason why they have actually created Kaspa. And why Kaspa has done so well over the last 3 years is because I believe so many people compare Kaspa to Bitcoin. There's a huge narrative behind, with people comparing Kaspa to Bitcoin, saying Bitcoin's like gold, whereas Kaspa is like silver. It's used more as a currency. Of course, when Bitcoin was first released, Bitcoin was meant to be used as a currency, as the name states, cryptocurrency, of course. But as more and more people hopped onto the network, we realized that Bitcoin isn't actually as scalable as it once was thought to be. So this is why Kaspa was actually created over the last 3 years ago, was to basically be what Bitcoin was originally developed to be, but basically just do it in basically be the better Bitcoin, I guess you could say. It works in it basically works much better. It's much more scalable. It's much faster. It's got lower fees. So all of the things that Bitcoin were trying to do is basically, I guess you could say, Kaspa is the new and updated, new and improved Bitcoin. Of course, this is not to say that I don't believe that Bitcoin is still going to do well. I believe Bitcoin is going to be around forever. But I just believe people are going to use Bitcoin more like stocks. They're going to invest into Bitcoin. They're going to use it to actually make money. I'm sure some people would still use it as currency. I mean, it still can be used as currency. It's still definitely very viable as a currency, as a cryptocurrency to be, transferred to other people. However, the network is definitely slowed down a lot from the amount of people on it. And especially when we get bull runs, where many people are, buying and selling Bitcoin, trading Bitcoin, exchanging, sending Bitcoin, all these different things, the network slows down tremendously and the fees go incredibly high. So this is where Kaspa actually does step in. The network is so scalable, it's much, much faster than Bitcoin, and the fees are always going to be very, very low. And yeah, the reason that I guess you could say how Kaspa is actually able to achieve such scalability is this diagram which shows here. Whereas Bitcoin, it has to go through a block. A block has to be completed before it moves on to the next block. However, if in Kaspa, if one of the blocks are slowed down and for whatever reason it's stuck on the network, it basically just reroutes and creates a new block and goes around that block. So that block that's stuck will eventually get completed, but it might be slowed down. And so while that block is still trying to sort itself out or do whatever it must and what it has to do to complete those transactions, a new block will be created and will actually divert around that. Think of it like, if you're on the motorway, say, and there's only one lane and you've got one slow car in front of you, you'd be blocking up the rest of the traffic behind you. Whereas if you've got a motorway with many, many lanes, you can go around that car, you can divert around that car and carry on at your normal speed. And that car can also carry on at, the slower speed that it was. So that is actually how Kaspa is actually able to achieve such fast speeds and low fees and be very, very scalable. So I guess the last part of the video is talk about my personal price prediction for Kaspa. So with Kaspa, of course, I'm extremely bullish. I'm sure you guys know this. But when I'm talking about my price prediction, it will be lower compared to the other coins which I talk about. And this is only because of the market cap of Kaspa. Because the Kaspa coin has already got such a, well, I shouldn't say such, it has quite a substantial market cap. I still believe that it still has a lot of room to grow into a much bigger coin, but the actual potential for massive profits, I would say, is probably lower. And when I say massive profits, I'm talking in terms of X, so how much times, or I guess you could call it percentage gains, you are going to get out of Kaspa. When we compare Kaspa to microcap coins, of course, microcap coins are often seen as more risky because they might have been on the market less time. There's less capital invested into them, so they're seen as more risky. However, the reward is much higher. Whereas with Kaspa, they've been out on the market already 3 years. I believe they've built up a very trustworthy name. The team is very trustworthy, and the market cap is quite substantial. $2.8 billion is definitely a substantial market cap. So the reward is, of course, I believe, always going to be a little bit, or I guess you could say quite a lot lower than if you were to compare to a microcap coin. That is just because the simple fact that you need to pump more money into the market cap to see the same gains as you were to see as a microcap coin. But me personally, I believe that in the next coming year or two, we could definitely see conservatively a 2 to 3x on Kaspa. And I really do believe that is conservative saying. I mean, if we were to see a bull run, I believe that this could be much higher. But, you know, I always like to say my price predictions conservatively. So around a 2 to 3x or 2 to 300% gains in the next year or two, it would be my personal price prediction in my opinion. So apart from that, guys, I'd like to thank you very much for watching the video. Let me know what you think about Kaspa in the comment section down below. Are you going to invest? Are you already invested? Just let me know. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you do hit that like button. And if you are new around here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button as well. Apart from that, I'll see you guys in the very next video. Peace.